So just recently, the Prime Minister of Armenia did an interview with France 24 in which he said that Turkey and Azerbaijan are doing a policy of genocide on the Armenian people, and he said that the Armenian people in Nagorno-Karabakh are facing an existential threat, essentially saying that this could be the end of Armenians living in Nagorno-Karabakh, implying that this could be the end of a Christian presence in Nagorno-Karabakh, also known as Artsakh. Isn't this the kind of thing we were hearing for years when Obama was president in regards to Christianity in Syria and Iraq? Remember the years 2014, 2015, 2016, those years when every single day some priest, some evangelical, some Christian, American Christian, Western Christian would say something like, this could be the end of Christianity in Syria and or Iraq because of all the violence that was being done by ISIS and al-Nusra and other Islamic terrorist organizations. We were hearing that sort of talk every single day. Donald Trump was all over it. They're killing Christians. They're killing Christians. Christian persecution. Look at what's happening in Iran with Saeed Abedini. You're not really hearing so much of that now. Even though Christians, in this case Armenian Christians, are being attacked by Azerbaijan and Turkey. In fact, just recently, Azerbaijan literally bombed an Armenian cathedral in Nagorno-Karabakh. And all of that energy, all of that enthusiasm with talking about Christian persecution that we saw when Obama was president, we're not seeing it right now. I wonder why that is. Oh, that's right. The president isn't a Democrat. Oh, that's right. Trump is in office. And Trump really isn't talking about what's been happening between Armenia and Azerbaijan, even though there was a joint statement between Russia, the US, and France. That really isn't much of anything. Trump isn't really going on Twitter saying, hey, Turkey, stop killing Christians. He's not saying, hey, Israel, stop arming Azerbaijan. Those weapons are being used to kill Christians. You're not hearing any of that stuff. The evangelical world is talking about coronavirus and the New World Order and how Cuomo is an anti-Semite. All these conservatives, they're not really talking about this. There are some people talking about it, yes, but nowhere near the passion and enthusiasm that we saw in the years of 2014 to 2016. You're not really seeing evangelicals saying, hey, Israel, stop arming Azerbaijan. Stop doing arms deals with Azerbaijan. Hey, we need to get Turkey to stop supporting Azerbaijan. They're killing the Christians. This could be the end of Christianity in Nagorno-Karabakh. We're not hearing any sort of anything like that right now. We're not hearing that sort of thing. Why? What's going on? Oh, because your guy, a Republican, is the president. That's the only reason. Because if the evangelical establishment began to push the U.S. government to chastise Turkey, if the evangelical and conservative, the general conservative establishment began to say things like, why isn't the U.S. government doing enough about Nagorno-Karabakh and all the Christians living there? Look, they just bombed the church. If the conservative and evangelical establishment began to do that, what would that imply? That would imply Trump's not doing enough. And they can't have that. They can't do that sort of thing because it would imply that Trump isn't doing enough. Therefore, it would make Trump look bad. We can't do that. I can guarantee you, if a Democrat was the president right now, the evangelical world, the Catholic, conservative American world, would be all over this right now. But they're not. They're not. They don't care. And liberals aren't talking about it so much. I mean, of course, you have the liberal media, which is talking about it, but it's just in terms of reporting the news. But liberals don't really care about Christians being killed. In fact, a lot of the Western media is sympathetic to Azerbaijan. Liberals don't care about Christians being killed. Not so much. Hardcore leftists don't really care about Christians being killed. Not saying all of them, not saying all liberals are like this, but liberals aren't exactly the people who are just gung-ho about talking about Christian persecution. That's really an evangelical and Catholic thing. But you're not seeing that sort of thing right now, because it would imply that Trump isn't doing enough. And we can't have that. All these Armenian Christians are saying, hey, America, help us. Hey, Russia, help us. Remember when ISIS was killing Christians? All of a sudden, American conservatives became pro-Russia, like overnight. Overnight. I mean, from decades of talking about the threat of Russia, Russian interference, Russian encroachment, the Soviet Union, from decades of talking about the dangers of Russia. When Obama was president, overnight, conservatives all of a sudden loved Russia. All of a sudden, conservatives loved Putin. All of a sudden, conservatives were reading Russian media and Russian propaganda. Why? Why? Because it's not about American patriotism. It's not about, the American sovereignty and American strategic importance. It's not about that. It's about a narrative. American conservatives will switch to supporting Russia if it means bashing a Democrat president. American conservatives won't really talk so much about Christian persecution, not really with a lot of enthusiasm, that is, if their guy is in office. But if it's a Democrat who's the president, they'll be talking about Christian persecution every single day. So at the end of the day, it's about a narrative. It's not about, protecting the Christians. It's about, let's talk about Christian persecution to make the guy that we don't like look bad. And let's not talk so much about this subject when it's our guy who's in office. That's really the bottom line. So that's my thought on that. You guys just heard some theology. God bless.